Are you, Mark?
Yeah, a race. You'll get there, and so one of you.
Oh, you just want to beat. No, I just know he'll beat me. That was so quick, dude.
Fair play.
This is more nerve-wracking than a race start.
You're not used to getting second.
Are you ready?
That's amazing.
You know what? I think that was quicker than mine.
So do I.
What have I done? I've gone from an e-bike to a non-e-bike. Acoustic, analog, muscle bike. You might have seen my video when I did a Stumpjumper 15 first ride, and I loved it. And 6 months later, here we are. I've now got one. It started off as an expert, but like most of my bikes, they tend to get carried away pretty quickly. So the only thing that's left from the expert is the bottom bracket and the seat post and the headset, and everything else is kind of a collection of parts that I've transferred over. So I've gone orange and green. No one believed me when I said it was going to work, but I had to. I saw this bright green expert, loved the colour, and I've got an orange fork. I've got an old orange shock off my last Stumpjumper Evo, and I knew it would work. I just knew it, so I put it all together, and here we are. So let's talk through the spec. It's got my old SRAM T-Type, love it. Transferred it over to this one. It's got, oh, I'll tell you what I did. I smashed up my left-hand crank in Madeira on my XX cranks, and I love them, but I literally massively smashed up the left-hand crank arm. So the only way to buy a left-hand crank arm is to get a power meter. So I've got a power meter now, and I'm made up about that. It's like having an e-bike because it's got all sorts of data and things like that, but it just doesn't make you go forwards. For now, I've got my old clips on the cranks. I might change to flats or back and forwards. I always change flats to clips when I'm bored of riding flats, and then clips to flats when I'm bored, and it's kind of like a refresh in my head. So at the moment I'm in my clips mode. I've actually got my clip shoes on because I rode this bike for the first time this morning. What else has it got? It's got Maven brakes, Maven Ultimates. I absolutely love these brakes. I've had Dominions, Mavens, Codes, Hopes. I seem to get on with them all, but I'm really enjoying the Mavens at the moment. They're super kind of solid lever feel, loads of power. I've actually got 200mm rotors on it instead of 220, which I could do with Dominions as well. Actually, I didn't have 220 rotors on Dominions either. But yeah, love them. So they're staying on. I've got Burgtec stem, top cap, bolt, and I've got high-rise bars. They're not Burgtec, which, you know, the guys at Burgtec are going to get upset with me about it. But they're 31.8, and they don't make a high-rise 31.8 yet. I had these on 170. These forks exactly 170. And I put the high-rise bars on after the video we did with Dean, and I knew the exact height. I've now travel changed it, so they're 10mm lower, and I noticed immediately out on the trail this morning that they're 10mm lower, and it feels back to how my old bike felt. So I think I could even go 10mm higher again. However, the steer is cut, so I'll have to go some crazy high-rise bars from somewhere if I want to do that. For now it's fine, but I think I could do with a little bit high-rise bar at the front. I've got my trusty what are these things called? Mirror saddles. Mirror saddle, which I've transferred from bike to bike to bike. I absolutely love this thing. It's just so comfy. Weirdly, I've still got my old Santa Cruz grips on a Specialized. That's, you know, that's a big no-no, isn't it? Mixing bike brands and parts and things like that. But I'm just comfortable with those grips for now. I'll probably change to Burgtec at some point soon. I've actually, talking about mixing brands, I've got the wrong wheels on as well. So I've got Santa Cruz Reserves, or as they like to call them, just Reserves now. But Santa Cruz Reserve SL wheels. So my previous bike had an SL front rim and a HD rear. And I thought, as Stumpy, I'm kind of going down in travel a little bit. I thought SL front and rear, but put decent burly tyres on it. This is one, I've ridden radial tyres previously, but only for like one day when I tested the Valor. And I wanted them to give them a proper go and mess about with pressures and see what the pressures are like. So I've gone radial. I've set them up currently 24 psi, 27 psi, which is slightly higher than what I had Conti's. I think that's probably going to be the sweet spot looking at what other people have done, but I'll muck about with that from there. I've got my 38 travel change down to 160 with the nice little orange top caps on there, so that's very nice. And my shock, the bit I've only done because it's orange is the shock. These bikes, the Stumpy 15, are built around a Genie shock, and I really wanted to try it. It's not orange, so for now it's got a coil shock on with an orange spring, but I'm probably going to do quite a bit of riding with the Genie shock because I really want to put some time into it and see what it works like. It worked amazing on my first ride down it, and I'll probably revert back to it, but I think it just looks really cool. This bike, one of the bikes released, is they do an Öhlins version with an Öhlins coil shock in it, and they do a Fox version with a Fox shock in it, and the Fox shock version that we've got on the shop floor, you know, just made me want to do this, but in a Larry green colour. So there we have it. The things that I'm probably going to change are probably a Burgtec orange grip. Has got to happen at some point. The orange Minar grip is a favourite. I think there's some other spots of orange that I can add in. I know people get upset about that in the shop, but that's kind of why I do it anyway. But this, on P&W loams, you can change the silicone band up there. I've changed the top guide on the one up to orange. I think that's about it. I love it. I mean, it's probably one of the best looking bikes I've ever built. In fact, I think the biggest point of upset for me with this bike is that Matt likes it. And normally I grade my bikes on how much Matt's upset with it. And this one, he really likes, so it makes me question myself as if I've done something wrong. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you think you'd change anything.